Hello. Well, happy fall equinox to everyone. I'm looking at the trees. You can see that they haven't changed their colors much yet, which is kind of late for us in Vermont. Yeah, I think some of the maples farther into the forest have changed colors, but that is what the equinox is all about, isn't it? Change. And you should be receiving my newsletter and probably this video on the harvest moon, September 29th, which is also my son's birthday. Yay, happy birthday to Ben. He's 31 years old. What a great time to have a birthday on the harvest moon, which most of you probably know the name of that did originate out of farming and having to harvest the crops, the last bit of the crops before the winter season kicks in. And of course, we have less daylight, and those days are going to grow shorter and shorter. So I'm walking over here to our little hideaway, which we're getting the composting toilet in. That's what that piping is. My son is taking care of that. And I think I'll just sit over here and say a few more things about change. Okay, so let me see if I can put this down, and then I'm going to walk over here. We put down this beautiful stone to make the step a little bit easier for folks. Oh my, and what a wonderful spot I'm in too. This hideaway is so precious, and you can see Charlotte's here, Sam's over there, our dogs. So what is it about change, change in our lives that just completely throws us off, right? Now, when it comes to seasonal changes, like the equinox, we are prepared. We've gone through these seasonal changes before. We know what autumn's like. Those of us in climates where we have a lot of winter months, like in Vermont, we get prepared, for those winter months of snow and cold weather and ice and all of those delightful things, which I enjoy. And so we get prepared for these changes. We stack our wood, we clean our furnaces, we hunker down, right? And we get ready. But what happens in our lives when we're not prepared for change, like big changes? This summer in Vermont, as well as other parts of the country, have experienced extreme weather changes. We just had so much rain. July 10th, we had a big flood in Vermont. Pretty unexpected, and of course, we understand now what an abuse of our climate has given us, what we're having to deal with now, right? But here is my thinking around changes and when an unexpected change occurs. If you lose somebody in your life, or you suddenly get fired from your job, or you just face these enormous life shifts that you need to take action with right away. It upsets our equilibrium, because often what happens is the clients that come to me work with me because they feel so out of control with whatever changes happen in their lives. Sometimes it's a loss in their life of a partner or a parent or somebody really close to them, and they think they're fine. They go back to work, but something doesn't feel right, and pretty soon they're sure that they need some kind of support because they feel out of control. you may have experienced this with just fits of crying unexpectedly, or you're in a new place, or you're in a familiar place like your grocery store or drugstore, pharmacy, and all of a sudden, you're flooded with memories, and you just sometimes have a panic attack. You got to get out of the store. Well, this is what I want to say about control in our lives. And if any of you have been in my program, you know I often feature a lot of Carolyn Mace's videos. And one of the most powerful videos that I often include to share with my clients is where she talks about letting go of expectations. Let go of that control over, that tight control you have over circumstances in your life. Sometimes you need to surrender to it. Surrender to things that are happening that are completely out of your control. And that is often what I see is the hardest thing. Like clients who come to me that feel like life has fallen apart for them. They can't function daily, they can't function in their jobs. Maybe their marriage or a long-term relationship is falling apart because they are falling apart, and they have no control over things that are happening around them, and they can't control their emotions either. And then when I listen to them and listen to your stories and the stories that they share with me, I so appreciate their honesty about those overwhelming feelings. And the place that we work from is a place that's going to feel very uncomfortable. It's going to be that place of surrender in their lives. And from that place of surrender, we then move towards a place of acceptance of what is going on. So this chaos, this lack of support, that people are running away from them because they don't know how to talk to their friend anymore who's lost somebody important in their lives, or again, lost their jobs, or lost their housing, or, they don't know how to support that person. So people start running away, right? And pretty soon you're so out of control and you have nobody to turn to. Okay, so we have to back it up and look at what that lack of control over these unexpected changes are doing to you, and how you can reach that place of surrender. It is generally a place that you cannot necessarily reach on your own without a lot of maybe self-reflection and meditation in your life, and stillness, and places like coming to a hideaway retreat and just gaining a sense of perspective and giving yourself that time. But often you need a coach, you need somebody to work with you, to help you recognize these places that you cannot control anymore, and how to surrender to those circumstances. It takes a while. It doesn't take, for some clients, it actually doesn't take that long, because fortunately I'm able to, hey Charlotte, I'm able to really see inside you, is what I want to point out. The more honest and forthright you are with me, and you don't hold back, and you can trust my ability to work with you, hey Sam, then things move a little faster, but it does take time to get to know who I am, and to trust that I can support you and hold those big, enormous, out of control feelings. And we will dig under the surface to really recognize these other places which over your lifetime, over your life history, you probably also got stuck. Maybe even going back to high school and elementary school and when you were very young. it's not like these things happen overnight, and your ability to be resilient to change in your life, and again, open yourself to surrender, it is coming from certain attributes and characteristics and a certain mindset that you have grown up with. It's not like it just you wake up one day and you suddenly feel out of control. It happens over time, but we often bury those signs. You know, we just want to keep going. We just want to keep going in our job, our career, our family. You know, we don't want to stop to give ourselves time to unpack the grief and that lack of control. Okay, so at this beautiful equinox and a time of change in our lives, it's also a time to just step back, you know, and regroup and reflect on what the summer's been like, you know, what the month of September's been like. We're headed towards the end of September now, into October. And as I said at the very beginning, you know, daylight, it's going to shrink. You know, we're going to have shorter days with the sun, more time with the moon. And that can throw people off too, you know. But if you're facing other kinds of changes at the same time, it can just feel overwhelming, right? I understand. Well, that's my message for today. The ability that we all must seek within ourselves to surrender to what's in front of us and to find a good coach, you know, to work with you and help you process and unpack those circumstances. As always, you can contact me, ask me questions. I'm happy to do a free call with you. Just to see if my program can help you too. All right, well, happy harvest moon. I hope you all have a beautiful harvest moon.